Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, April 21st. Been on the water quite a bit. Actually fished all weekend, just finished up a little trip today. Fishing's, it's a little different. It's not exactly what we expect for April, but I really think by the end of the week, it will be exactly what we expect for the end of April. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 916.6 basically, so about 1.5 feet high. For normal winter pool, we're getting pretty close to time for summer pool. I think that kicks off in May. So when that happens, we're actually going to be a little bit low. Beaver is still high. They are still dropping beaver, so they are still dumping a lot of water into Table Rock. They have slowed some of the current going out of Table Rock, even though they're dumping beaver in. And sorry guys, on at Bull Shoals, you're 20 some odd feet high, and kind of getting to be a broken record for y'all down there every year. Water temperature, you know, it hasn't changed. If anything, it's gone down a little bit. Out there today, we started off at around 56.5, 57. We did start to see 60 towards the end of the morning, but it's definitely cooled off from the last report, or I guess 2 reports ago. But it is warming back up. We're finally getting away from some of these 30-degree nights, which really knock the temperature down. It has sort of slowed the spawn down. I'm not seeing nearly as many fish on beds. There are still a few on beds. We didn't really fish for them today, but there are definitely still some fish on beds if you want to do that. And I think by this weekend with the new moon tomorrow, I think you'll really start to see more and more fish on beds this weekend and all next week. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, the lower end's fishing pretty good. I'm actually up the White River. I'm at Big Creek, but lower end's fishing pretty good. We still want to have a swim bait tied on. That seems to be the #1 bait across the lake right now, is still a swim bait, and we're fishing it a lot like we used to fish a grub. Any of you guys that used to fish back in the 90s, early 2000s, you always heard guys talking about scrubbing a grub, throwing it out, letting it sink to the bottom and working it slowly along the bottom. Doing a lot of that with a swim bait, basically throwing the Kitech Fat Impact in either 2.8 or 3.3, throwing it on the new Jewel Gem Shed 2.0, and most of the fish, on a sunny day like we've got today, most of the fish are going to be in that 8 to about 12 or even 15-foot range. If you've got a cloudy day, a little bit of wind just now came up, but got a little bit of wind, those fish will move up a little bit shallower, and you can catch them in that 5 to about 12-foot range. So keep that in mind. But most of the fish we're catching on the swim bait, at least for the last week, have been relating to the bottom. They've not been suspended, they've not been up. Most of them have been on the bottom. Catching them on a Jewel Pee-wee football jig as well. Catching a lot of fish on that. Same sort of deal. Gravel points. Sorry I didn't mention gravel points on the swim bait, but everything's around gravel, especially around spawning pockets. This point I'm on right here would be ideal. It's a flat gravel point. You've got a pocket on either end that they can go back in and spawn. So everything is on gravel points. We're catching them on a Pee-wee football jig as well. Same sort of deal. You don't have any cloud cover, it's sunny, no wind, those fish are going to be out in that 8 to about 15-foot range. If it's windy or you get a little cloud cover, it'll push them up and they'll be in that 5 to about 12-foot range. So keep that in mind on the Pee-wee football jig. Spinnerbait bite has been okay down at the lower end. The biggest problem I'm having with a spinnerbait is I'm not finding a lot of trash in the water, so I'm not catching a lot of fish on a spinnerbait down there as well. So really it's been a swim bait and it's been a Pee-wee football jig have been the 2 baits I'm doing best with. Down by the dam, catching a few on a shaky and a Ned and so on and so forth. You can catch them on a squirrel head with a beaver or a speed craw on it, catching them on a Ned rig. Anything that you like to work along the bottom in that, you know, again, anywhere from 5 to 15 foot deep seems to be the key depth. Go up into the mid-lake, same bites are working there. You definitely want to have a swim bait tied on. Can't overemphasize how many fish we're catching on a swim bait. Same deal again, we're scrubbing it on the bottom. If it's cloudy, if it's windy, get up there fairly shallow. Anywhere from about 5 to 12 foot deep seems to be key on these flat gravel points. Calm, sunny, back your boat back out, hold the boat in about 18 to 20 and fish that 8 to about 12 or even 15 foot range really seems to be key. Same deal with the Pee-wee football jig there as well. Better colors on the Pee Wee football jig have been Touchdown, Bass Whacker, and Hail Mary. Those have been my 3 best colors. And I've been taking a speed craw and cutting about 3 tail sections off to shorten it up a little bit. And then dyeing the pinchers orange has really made a difference in the number of fish and how well you're getting bit. So keep that in mind as well. Doing a lot of that. Again, spinnerbait bite's not been real good. Ned rig bite has been good using the jewel Ned head. Shaky head bite with a jewel squirrel head and either a beaver or a speed craw on it or a finesse worm. I know a lot of guys are catching them on a finesse worm. Keep that in mind. With this water warming up, with these fish most likely going to spawn this weekend, I would certainly keep a weightless Senko handy. A week ago, or almost 2 weeks ago now, that was really kind of a prime bite for us around the flooded bushes. There's still enough bushes in the water when you get in these flat pockets, and you really don't even need bushes in the water, but you can catch a lot of fish on a weightless Senko rigged wacky style right now too in the Kimberling City area. Go up into the James. James has got a really good jig bite going on right now. A lot of fish coming on a jig up the James, both the Pee Wee football jig and the Jewel Pro Spider jig. Again, these fish are all going to be relating to spawning pockets. Most of them haven't spawned yet. Yeah, guys will say, oh, I've been catching them off of beds. Yeah, there are a few on beds. I'm not seeing a whole lot, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them on beds by this weekend. But look to those points, and just inside those points and just inside the spawning pockets really seems to be key. Again, the Pee Wee football jig, anywhere from 5 to 15 foot deep. Same with the Jewel Pro Spider jig, 5 to 15 foot deep. A lot of fish coming on docks right now, especially on gravel. If you get a dock that's on a gravel point or inside of a gravel pocket, you definitely want to fish the shady area with a Pro Spider jig. Fished over the weekend on Saturday when it was sunny and calm, and had a couple of really big smallmouth. One of them about 4.5, 5 pounds, the other one about 3.5, 4 pounds. Both of them on the shade of the docks, on the same dock, one on one side, one on the other. So keep that in mind. If you're fishing a jig up the James, fish the shady areas of the docks. There seems to be some better fish that are staged waiting to spawn hanging around docks as well. Spinnerbait bite is a little bit better up the James. You've got a lot more trash to throw a spinnerbait at. You got a lot more laydowns. You got a lot more bushes in the water on some of the flat stuff, and you've got a lot more docks up there to throw a spinnerbait around. So make sure you're throwing. I like the Jewel Gem Blade. Caught a few on it over the weekend, but the Jewel Gem Blade around all those laydowns and everything. Now's the time, if you get a windy, cloudy day, to get up there and throw that Jewel Gem Blade. You'll catch a lot of fish on that. Go up in the White River where I am today. Fished the White River quite a bit this last week. A lot of fish on swim bait, awful lot of fish on a swim bait. And again, we're scrubbing it for the most part. Most of these fish are on shallow, flat gravel. Secondary points, mouths of spawning pockets really is key for that bite. Again, if it's sunny and calm, they're in that 8 to 12 to 15 foot range. If you get some wind, you get some cloud cover, they'll push up a little bit. That 5 to 12 foot range really seems to be key. Keep that in mind. You can do the same thing with a Pee Wee football jig, same thing with a Ned rig, same thing with the squirrel head. Fish these gravel points, gravel pockets. That's where you're going to catch fish right now. You'll catch the stagers that are waiting to move up. You might even catch a couple that are on beds that you don't see the bed. You're just kind of blind cast into them. And you'll catch the ones that are post spawn as well. The fish that'll pull back out after they spawn. You can catch them all on these gravel points and gravel pockets for the next couple of weeks. Spinnerbait bite's not been great here. We do have some bushes in the water. If you look behind me, you can see a few. The right day, the right wind, the right cloud cover, you can catch a few on a spinnerbait, mostly small buck males. Catch a few on a chatterbait as well, mostly small buck males. Up there around those bushes, once these fish move up and spawn, that bite will probably get a little bit better, but you definitely need wind, and cloud cover helps as well. Guys, we are almost the end of April. Things are going good. Bite's been good, catching a lot of fish. It's been fun. It's been fun catching a lot of buck males, but every once in a while we've been tying into some better females. So the bite's been good. A lot of fish being caught. You know, it's going to be a good year. We can get past this COVID-19 or whatever the heck they're calling it this week. I think it's going to be a really good summer. Guys, if you're coming down, maybe want to go fishing, you and a buddy want to go out and fish, give me a call. We'll do our best to get you out on the water. If you guys are coming down for vacation later in the year, I really hoping, and I think things will be back to normal by, say, June or July. Coming down, give me a call. We'll get out, we'll get on the water, we'll have a good time. Remember, we've still got Table Rock Fishing Intel is up and running, and we are adding things every day, daily reports, weekly reports like this one. We're still doing our Time on the Water series, so we've got a lot of information on Table Rock Fishing Intel for you, so make sure you check that out. If you haven't been to Table Rock Fishing Intel, check it out. Join, you get access to all the information that we've got on there, and we are going to continue to load that with information on a daily basis. But guys, thanks for watching the videos. If you are thinking about hiring a guide, just give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743 or hit my website, focusfishing.com, and either shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But guys, thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.